Okay, well, thanks ever so much for coming along to today. As I said, we're going to be talking about some existing and some new PGS resources that will help launch and promote the PGS to your community. Next slide, please, Beth. But before we get started about talking about promoting the PGS, I wanted to just start with your PGS parish landing page, just to make sure that everybody is actually aware of that landing page. If your parish is registered with the Parish Giving Scheme, you will have a landing page which looks a bit like this. So you'll have the regular giving button that you can see there and the one-off gift button that will be on your page. And why I wanted to show you this one was because this is Canal St. Robert. They've actually edited the text on their page, and you'll see from the text there, and not the bold bit, but the bit below, that little section below, they've talked about the Parish Giving Scheme. They've talked about how easy it is to use it and how it helps the church, the impact and the benefit of the Parish Giving Scheme to their church. So it's a really good idea if you could go in to your parish landing page and just review the information that's on there and just edit that. Next slide, next one, please, Beth. If you can just review and edit that information before you start promoting the Parish Giving Scheme. And then you'll also find, as you scroll down that parish landing page, your QR code. And that QR code, you can download it and you can use it on your posters and all of your literature that you're using to promote the PGS. And it will take people directly to this page. So Beth is going to talk in a bit more detail about how you get that QR code later in the presentation. But, you know, the key thing is to go to this page first, review it, edit it, make sure everything's in place and you're saying all the right things. And then when people go to your page, they're going to be encouraged maybe to sign up to the PGS. Next slide, please, Beth. So I said that there's some existing resources already, promotional resources that the Parish Giving Scheme team actually produced a couple of years ago now, when the Parish Giving Scheme introduced the digital service. And these are just an example of some of the resources that are already there. And you can reach the resources by that link at the bottom of the slide there. So here you can see a poster that talks about the 3 ways to give online, give by telephone, give by gift form. But also, importantly, you'll see that there are 2 guides there, 2 step-by-step guides. And that middle one there, update your parish landing page, gives you step-by-step guidelines on how to do what I was just talking to you about, how to go to your parish landing page, how to update that information, that text. It's your personal statement receiver on your Parish Giving Scheme that will be able to log into their personal account, and they will be able to edit that text. So if you get your personal statement receiver to log in, or if you want to just go to that link at the bottom of the page, you'll find these documents. You can download that document about updating a parish landing page, and then you'll find out how to do it all. Okay, next slide, please. And also, I think it's a good idea just to remind everybody about all the different ways that you can promote the Parish Giving Scheme. There's lots of different communication channels that you can use to get the message out there. You can reach your parishioners and also people in the wider community as well, and encourage them to sign up to the Parish Giving Scheme and to give regularly to you, or just give a one-off gift. So you can use your parish magazine. There's resources that we'll show you now that you can use in your parish magazine. There's a template for an article that the PGS have already produced. All you need to do is go in and make it bespoke to you, put your church details in. So there's that. There's also weekly bulletins, obviously, that you can send regularly with little images about the PGS and little encouragements about joining a PGS. Some people have even written appeal letters. They've written letters, individual letters to their regular givers, encouraging them to use PGS, explaining about what the benefit and the impact is of using the PGS and how it helps the church. So you can do that as well. The QR code you can download and you can put that on your order of service, and it will take people directly to your page. You can also send emails and texts, posters as well. Example here, this bottom one here, where you can drop your QR code into the bottom of the poster. There's lots of different posters that you can use, and then there's also images that you can use on your website or your Facebook page, like little banners that have already been produced. And I'll show you some examples of these as we go through. Next slide, please, Beth. Some more of the existing resources do actually exist on this link. Apologies for the different links for the resources, but when the PGS produced the resources, they produced them at different phases. So they produced them when they went digital and they had a digital service, and then they're all available in one area. And then they produced some more resources, updated them when they introduced the one-off giving function. So the two links that I've given you will take you to the different resources, but you can also go to our webpage, the diocesan webpage, and Beth is going to show you that link later on in her presentation. So there's lots of different ways that you can reach the resources. So when they introduced, I think it was the one-off giving function, the PGS produced a guide to launching the PGS, which we'll show you later. So that's really useful to look at. Next, please, Beth. There's also, as I said, posters and leaflets that are customizable, and there's also ready-made social media posts as well that have been created that you can use on Facebook. And then if you do use Instagram and Twitter and that sort of thing, you've got some posts as well that are ready-made. And then there's also videos and animations if you want to download those and use them on your website. And as I said, that newsletter template that you can customize and use that in your bulletins and your newsletters. Next slide, please. Of course, if you want to produce, if you want to promote the PGS in person, if you want to have some posters up around the church, you can download these new posters that actually also have a space for you to put your QR code. Just drop one on there to show you where to put it. And then if you've got a website page, you can put in there the URL for your website page as well. So you can have these posters around in the church, or I mean, also next one, please, Beth. Also notice that these posters do promote the one-off giving feature. So this one says make a single one-off gift, this one's make a one-off gift. So these are the more updated posters that you can download, and also they tell you about how you can also increase your gift annually, gift aid. So they're giving off different messages. So have a look at them and decide, which ones are going to work for you best. Next slide, please. And this is a leaflet as well that you can give out in person to your congregation. You can customize this as well by dropping in your QR code onto the page. And also you can write in there the name of your church. So just have a look through. You can see that there's brackets in different places where you can pop in your information. And then you can print that out, and then you've got a little leaflet that you can hand out in church as well. And I was saying earlier about there being some social media posts. These are just an example of some of the posts that have been produced that you can use on Twitter and Facebook, and they're really easy to use. You can just click on them and you download them and put them straight into Facebook. So there's quite a few of them there for you to use, different messages. Some of them talking about gift aid as well. So really useful to use if you're having a social media campaign. And then an example of some of the website banners that you can use as well if you want to put them on your website. So there's a few others as well. These are the vertical ones, but there's also the landscape ones as well that you can use. I mentioned that the PGS had produced a guide to launching the PGS. And in the guide, there's 5 different steps that you can follow. First of all, leading by example. I mean by that members of the PCC join the PGS and maybe use it for a few months before you launch it to your congregation, so that you know how it works, and you can reassure then your parishioners that it's a good tool. Also, we always recommend launching with a giving program or a gift day. Maybe Generosity Week is a good time to launch the PGS. Obviously, if you've not done a stewardship campaign recently, maybe looking at a stewardship campaign as well, and introduce your PGS during that time. And it encourages people to review their giving. Engaging with your church community as much as you can, using all the different communication channels that we've talked about. And one of the most powerful ways of encouraging people to sign up to the PGS is actually sharing your personal experience of it. So if you have already signed up to the PGS, or if you know people in your congregation that are using the PGS, get them to stand up during the service, at the end of the service, and say, you know, I've been using the PGS, it's really good, this is how it works. That is often more powerful than giving out leaflets. So try to do both if you can. Next slide, please, Beth. Oh. I think...
Or is it, can you see it?
Can you hear me? I just got a message saying that my internet is unstable. But...
Oh no, I can hear you. We can see you. It's all okay.
Okay. Okay, so, and then I mentioned about Generosity Week as well. National Generosity Week happens at the end, or the last week in September, early October. But you can hold Generosity Week at any time of the year, whatever is suitable for your church. But the PGS have actually produced some Generosity Week themed images as well, and posters. These ones are actually social media posts that you can use for Facebook. So have a look at these as well. They're in the links that we've provided. And if you are doing a Generosity Week and introducing PGS, then you can use these resources as well. Next slide, please. And at this point, I'm going to hand over to Beth, and she's going to now take you through some of the new ones that she's produced and give you a demo as well. Okay, Beth?
Fab. Hello, everybody. I'm Beth, and I've been quite busy making some new PGS resources. So I've made a few that are editable and customizable on Word. So hopefully should be accessible to everybody. Of any kind of design ability, you should be able to go onto Word and change a few bits and bobs. So these two that are up here, there's a pew card, as I was chatting to a few churches who have made their own, so I thought it would make sense to make a kind of one that everyone could use. And this is also a little kind of cutaway from the brochure that I've made as well. And that is kind of a trifold brochure with a lot more details about how everything works. But as well as these two designs on Word, I've also been working a bit with the Diocese of Liverpool, who have made a lot of designs on Canva, which is a free graphic design tool that anybody can use. It's just kind of like an online web page. And they've made quite a few resources on there. So that's a pew card and another trifold brochure. So if you fancy trying something new or using Canva if you already use it, then these pew cards and brochures are also available on there. So I'll quickly go through kind of how all of these can be customized. But before I do that, as you can see, there's kind of a few gaps where you can add in your church name, you can add in pictures. So it's helpful before you start kind of doing any customization to have a few kind of details to hand. So some of these are quite important. So the PGS QR code. So this is a helpful image to have on any kind of printed resources, as people can use their phones to scan this QR code and it will send them directly to your Parish Giving Scheme landing page that Janet was talking about earlier. As well as this, it's helpful to have your PGS parish code. And this is the code that your givers will need when they're registering or signing up to give regularly or give a one-off gift. They'll need this parish code to make sure that the money is going to the right place. And then as well as these kind of two details, you'll need your PGS representative's contact details. So this could be you guys who are on the call, it could be your treasurer, vicar, a finance team member, someone who is happy to be kind of, spoken to about the Parish Giving Scheme and have their details on these printed materials. And finally, it's really nice to have a few pictures of your church to kind of make the design look as much like your church as possible. So that could be a picture of the outside of the building, inside the building, pictures from services. And I personally like it when there's pictures of people smiling. It's quite engaging. So these are really helpful to have to hand. And those top two, the PGS QR code and the PGS parish code, I'm going to quickly show you now how to find these on your landing page. So this is kind of like a squished up version of what your landing page will look like. And so you've got that kind of intro bit where it says, welcome to your church. And if you scroll down, you can find the parish code, which is just that set of numbers there. And then if you scroll down even further, you'll find the downloadable kind of button for your QR code. And there's 3 options. And I've circled that one at the bottom because that's the best one to download. So I'm going to quickly show you how to do all of this live. So bear with me while I open up my internet. So I'm hoping in a second you should be able to see the Parish Giving Scheme website. If I can get a thumbs up or a yes from you, Janet, that would be great. And this is kind of, if anyone searches for the Parish Giving Scheme, they should be able to find this page first. And then you simply just need to click on this button at the bottom, which says Find Your Parish. If you just click on that, and then I quite like using the second box. It seems to provide, it gets the church up quicker for me. And I'm just going to type in a church that I know is registered with the PGS, and then you select Find Your Church, and here we go. And just want to click on that, and that is the PGS website, and this is how everyone can find your church page. So this is the text that you can edit, and if you scroll down, you can find the PGS parish code. And so I'd recommend copying this and pasting that somewhere safe. Keep it ready to go, ready to access at any time. And then if you scroll down even further, this is where you can download the QR code. So you just need to click on this and then download as a PNG file. And then that should immediately come up to your downloads. So I'm going to open this straight away so I can save this. But first, a fun quirk of the PGS website, whenever you download your QR code, it will come up with a bit of dead space around the QR code. So I'd recommend straight away cropping this and then saving a copy of the cropped QR code somewhere safe. So I'm going to save this in my file here so I can find it later on. So that is how you get all of your details on the PGS page. So your parish code and your QR code. So after that, now I'm going to show you how to use these new resources on Word. So that's the pew card and the trifold brochure. I'm going to go through the, I'm going to go through the brochure first because that is the more complicated of the designs. There's more things that you'll have to change. But these are kind of the 3 steps before you start anything. So you want to get your details ready, do all your editing on Word, and then print it off. And you could either print these off kind of normally on your normal printer, or you can send them off to get printed professionally. But I'm just going to follow this little link down at the bottom of the slide here, because this is where you can find all of the new promotional materials on our diocesan website. So here we go. This is the PGS page. If you don't know it already, please get familiar with it. There's lots of information and promotional materials. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, this is where a lot of the resources that Janet has already mentioned are linked. This is the new Word resources that I've created. And down here is also a link to some of the Canva resources. To start off with though, I'm just going to open up and download the trifold information brochure. Which again will pop up on here, and I will open this up. So this is exactly the process that you guys will need to do if you're going to make it yourself and customize it yourself. It always looks a little bit funny at the beginning. You need to enable the editing to begin. And then it just looks like a normal kind of Word document, and you can just change a few bits and bobs. So there are 3 sections on each page, and it is a double-sided document. So there's more down here as well. But we're just going to go through bit by bit, and you'll see that it's not too intimidating. There's not too much to change. It's just some small little details to add in to make it appropriate for your church. So we'll start here and we'll just work our way through. But you'll see there's some FAQs which are helpful for any of your new givers. But we'll just scroll down, and there's a bit in here where you can add in your details of your treasurer. You can change that word treasurer to be vicar or finance team member or anything you like to make it more applicable to you. But you can also add in their names. So I'm just going to write in a random name. Don't know why Alan's come to me today. And then you can also add in a contact detail. So this could be an email. So it could be something like treasurer@saint-something.org, or it could be a phone number, whatever contact details that person would like. And that's simple as just typing it in like a text box. And then that bit's all done. And then I'm just going to scroll us up to the top of this section as well. And this is where you need to add in your PGS parish code. And this is what we copied earlier. I'm just going to see if it's still copied on mine. I'm going to paste it there as a value. And you can see there, that is the PGS code that people need. Now this can be edited. You can put it in bold. You can make it italic. You can change the font. It's just a text box, so you can make it stand out however you like. And then I'm going to scroll down here, and this is where your QR code can go. And so there are instructions on here to change this box into your QR code. So we need to right click, and then there's an option to change the picture. And now this should be saved in your files. So I know that this is saved in my pictures. And then in this webinar, and it's right here. And then you don't have to crop it, you don't have to resize it. It should just fit in as normal. And then I'm just going to go here and write in the church name. Gone for St. George's now. You might want to make it a bit more consistent when you do yours. And then here is a good place to put a nice picture of your church. Helpful if it's a portrait picture, as this is quite a portrait template slot. So I'm just going to do the same thing as I did with the QR code and right click and change the picture here. And I've got this picture of a standard looking church and that's going to go in there. And again, you'll need to just add in something. And then that's the whole first page done. So we're halfway through. You can bear with me for a little bit more. And then we'll just go through this one. A lot of the time it is just changing church name because it's quite nice when someone's reading it to keep referring back to the church instead of just the church. And up here, there's another little box to change. And we'll keep scrolling down just to make sure everything is in place. And then the final thing is just to add in another picture. So this time a nice horizontal landscape picture. I'm just going to do this one of these people worshiping in church, mainly because it's purple and I like the purple matching the purple. But then that's everything done. And a quick little scan through will show me that I think I've caught every single bit that I need to change. Now, everything that you need to edit has been put in bold and got brackets around it. So it should be quite obvious that that needs to be changed. And then once you've double checked everything and everything looks okay, then you can just print it however you like to print it. I'd recommend if you're going to be printing this kind of at home using your own printer, make sure you're printing it double-sided and make sure it's printing along the short edge and not the long edge so that you can flip it around the right way. But that is the kind of most complicated customizing on Word. All the others are much simpler. So if you can do this one, you can do any of them. So I'll go back to our slideshow. So that is the Word demo. I'm also going to do a very, very brief demo on Canva and looking a little bit at the Canva resources. I've got these links down here at the bottom of the slide. In case Canva is completely new to you and you're not sure at all what it is, but you're interested, you might want to start using it, then you can sign up to the Church of England Introduction to Canva webinar, where they'll go through everything, how you do it and how you get started. But you can also have a look at the Getting Started page on Canva itself, as there's some really helpful tips to get you started. But similar to before, you'll still need to have all your details ready. Then we'll need to edit on Canva, and then you can download and use it however you like. So you can print it off professionally, you can kind of save it as an image, or you can print it off directly. But I'll just, again, going to follow this link to the same page as before to get all of the promotional links on our website. So if we scroll down again, and we'll go past the word resources, we'll see that these are 2 Canva resources. And again, I'm just going to show you the information brochure because that's the more complicated one, like last time. I'm going to follow this link. And so this is kind of a rough thing of what it looks like, and you need to scroll down and then click on the edit template. And then this is Canva. So it looks a little bit complicated. There's quite a lot of things that you can do. If Canva is completely new to you, feel free to ignore me right now, and you don't need to concern yourself with this right now. But if you like using Canva, or you're interested in finding out more, then just bear with me while I show you how to use some of these features. So as you can see, it's quite similar to the one on Word. There's kind of the 3 sections and there's 2 pages. There's quite a lot of wording on this one, and there's a lot of space. These kind of cloud images are slots for you to add in your own pictures. Similar to before, if there is something you need to edit, and this should be put in bold, and they've got these little asterisks next to them to make them eye-catching so you know what to change. But differently to Word, everything on this can be edited. So you can click into any of these pictures, any of these boxes, especially for this kind of quote here, and you can put in whatever you like. You can add in your church logo, any church pictures, addresses, kind of everything is changeable. You can do whatever you like. There's lots of things down this side that you can add on to this. So you can add in elements, which are kind of like these little images or kind of frames for pictures. You can add in text. You can upload a set of pictures. So you can see that I've kind of uploaded some already. And then these are really easy. You can just pick them up, drag it over, and that will slot into that kind of preset section. So I'll just show you, and again with the QR code, that can go in this little box here to go next to the online and how you sign up using the online section. And going in and changing any wording is also really simple. You just have to double click the box, get rid of what's in there, and then write your church name or whatever you want to write in that box. And then just make sure you've gone through, done the same as before, everything is looking as it should. And then the options are for printing are a little bit more complicated than on Word. You have to click the share button up here. And then there are 2 options. If you scroll down, you can download either as an image, which I think is probably the best option if you're going to print this off professionally, because if you save it as an image, send it off to something like a solo press or where you might be able to print things off professionally, and that will look the best. But if you are going to print this from home, I'd recommend clicking into this box and then going for PDF print, which is quite obvious. It's the best for printing, it says it on there. And that's the best for you to print from home. And then all you need to do is click the download button, and that should work as normal. So that is Canva. It's quite a whistle-stop tour. If you have any more questions, by all means, ask them at the end of this webinar. But they are the 2 demos. I'm just going to finish off with just a few little points about the Parish Giving Scheme. First one is, please have a go at customizing these resources yourself. There's so many things out there, and it'd be so great for you guys to put in whatever you fancy, all your different pictures or your different contact details, and just have a go. But obviously I'm here, Janet is here. We are available to kind of help you with this, do them for you if they're really too complicated. But yeah, just have a go to begin with. You as churches are able to access Canva Premium for free. So that just gives you access to a lot more kind of elements, different pictures. You can also resize your designs. So if you've done something in kind of like a postcard shape, but you want to make it a poster, you can change that all, and it's very easy to move. You can also kind of remove the background of images. There's lots of fun features in Premium, so I'd recommend having a look at that guidance. But also just a final little PGS update is that they are updating the PGS gift forms. So these are the paper forms that we'll send out to you when you sign up. So these are currently unavailable to order. So if you wanted any more, you might have to hold out for a month or two while waiting for these new ones to arrive. But in the meantime, they have updated the PDF version of the gift form. So these are available through us. So if you just give us an email, drop us a line, we can send you this new PGS gift form, the PDF version, with all of your church details in and parish details. So just bear that in mind.